I've made my way to Detroit, Michigan to see the Reptarium, and I tell you what, it's an absolute amazing experience, and let's go through and check out some of the cool displays right now. Yeah!
Of course, another Burmese python. This is actually, well, this is the first Burmese python I'm showing you. This is Jeffrey. Jeffrey is absolutely amazing. He's what they would call a hypogranite Burmese python. There you go, bud.
So there's two things going on with this one. Yep. So hypo being color and granite being pattern.
Exactly. The hypo is actually het for leucistic, basically. Ooh. If you breed two hypos together, you get the leucistic or the white Burmese python. So he's absolutely wonderful. He's about 1.5 years old right now, almost 2 years old. Probably about just coming up on 9 foot right now. Again, as we know, Burmese pythons are one of the giant snakes, so these guys can get 18+ foot long. So he's got a long way to go, but another great animal ambassador that is absolutely incredible to just, you know, take out. And this is a nice size, right? Because it's not so big that a kid can't handle it.
Yeah, yeah. So with these guys, they get the girth on them. That's the most important thing. Now, also the little thing about girth that I'm going to talk about is we always look at the Australian snakes, the carpet pythons. They can grow to about 3.5 meters, but the boa constrictor can all get it to about 3.5 meters. But the crazy thing is, the girth of the boa constrictor compared to a carpet python, and there's one right here. Look at this.
Yeah, look at this. This is Cupcake. She's one of the biggest boas I've ever seen, for sure. You can just feel free to. She's fine to touch, do whatever you want. And she's heavy as can be. She is
look at that girth.
I mean, yeah, just look at the girth and strength on that sucker.
The power in these at a 3 meter or 10 foot animal is absolutely amazing. You know, it's almost like a powerhouse, and the energy and power is just something you really got to pay attention when you're dealing with these guys.
Boas are by far one of the most powerful snakes that I work with, you know, very much so. So these are actually albino. These are albino iguanas. This is actually just a normal one. This is named French's, and then we've got a sungo up here, which is a hypo albino, and that's named Hines right there. These guys are about 2 years old right now, and down below them you can see their cage mates. These guys actually are red-footed tortoises that live at the bottom of this enclosure, and they cohabitate very well because, of course, the tortoises are going to spend all their time on the ground, and the iguanas are going to spend all their time up in the trees, so that it's the perfect cohabit. And then, of course, when the iguana's food, which is up in the trees where we put it, end up falling to the ground, the tortoises get that food as well, so they get a little extra bonus.
So that bowl there is this is the food. You offer the food in the trees like a natural feeding sort of platform, and then obviously whatever spills out falls down, and instead of going to waste, gets consumed by the other vegetarians.
Exactly, it's the perfect situation. It's the perfect cohabit. Of course, we have albino and normal red-eared sliders in here. You can see these guys sitting up on the rock right, or on the floaties right now. The normals are getting a little bit bigger. The albinos are just getting moved in here. We have about 20 turtles in here total. There's actually some little musk turtles in here too, but they stay right on the bottom and you never really see them. So they're cool little animals. We got them when they were about this big. Now they're about that big. It's pretty cool to see them growing. So I love them. Again, you start to see some of that salt deposit here again. And we clean this glass usually 2-3 times a day. This is actually Diddy and Dixie, the rhino iguanas. They'll come out and see us here in a second. Get some backlight on you if you turn this way. Come on, buddy. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on. There you go, bud. There you go. How you doing, bud? Hey, girl. What you doing? What you doing, silly? We're going for a little walkabout now.
Jailbreak. And there again, look at this, amendable to, you know, touch. Absolutely amazing.
They're my puppies.
What do you think, guys? What do you think?
Aren't they incredible? Little dinosaurs, right?
They look so prehistoric.
Yeah, and they're just so beautiful. I mean, and they love people, they love pets, they love to just spend time with one another, and I mean, I'm really blessed to have these amazing animals. Diddy. So this is Diddy that you're playing with now, and Dixie's right over here. Cool, aren't they?
Absolutely amazing. You know, they're just so awesome.
Never get sick of playing with these guys. Come on,
hey guys.
Come on, baby girl.
It's time to go home, my little friend.
Here you go, buddy. We'll have you out lots tonight, I promise. I'm like, don't let me back in, I want to stay on playing.
Just so much, Brian.
That's awesome. We got some little pink belly side neck, albino pink belly side necks in here. There's a slider up top, but these guys are this little pink belly side necks here. There one goes.
So side necks is usually what we call, you know, the long necks.
Long necks.
They pull it in and they tuck it in down to the side of the shell there.
Exactly.
And look at this. This is usually a pest for us, but check this out.
Look how big it is. That's a beastie, isn't it?
That's a monster.
It's a monster. This is Allie, of course, she's a marine. So in this particular locality is Suriname. The Suriname ones, for some reason, get much bigger. We got a couple little baby frill dragons in here.
Yes. Check
These are
out, how
actually
cute.
the New Guinea Indonesian frillies. These were hatched here.
Wow.
So this is our 3rd year we've produced these guys in a row. So we're super excited about that. Got a little Pac-Man frog in here. This is mom and dad. Oh,
Absolutely amazing.
The snowblind albino here. So this is what they call a snowblind albino water monitor, Asian water monitor. And this is a particular locality, which is Sulawesi, which stays a little bit smaller than the mainland or some of the other localities.
And of course, that's Mike.
So, and that's the most rare and crazy animal of all.
Yeah, we could only afford one of those.
Exactly. This is mom and dad frilly here.
Oh yes.
So again, this is actually Nova and Lilith. These guys are again have produced now for 3 years in a row. This guy up on the bottom here, he's my boy, and Lilith is way up at the top there.
Yeah, look at that.
Seeing a couple crickets. He's got an eye on that cricket right there.
That instant, that eye moves, that intelligence, you know, it's tracking food.
But I mean, they're really super docile, really friendly. Can't ask for anything better than that. This is a snake that you definitely won't see too often. This is Ben and Jerry.
This is really a freak of nature, this one.
Of course, these are 2-headed California king snakes. This is Ben, that's Jerry.
So here's the thing, right? California king snakes are a snake eating species.
Yeah, and then they got 2 heads. Yeah.
And it's got 2 heads. Does it fight?
These guys, unfortunately, well, thankfully, won't fight because their heads are probably too close together to fight. But they don't, you know. So Ben really runs the ship. So when they're eating, Ben always eats first, and then when Ben is almost done eating, Jerry will actually eat. So I think it's one of those things that they have to get this symbiosis going when they're young to understand who can do what, right? You know, it takes some time. So I think they've gotten it down to knowing what's going on, so they don't fight anymore. This is another male, or only other male reticulated python. And you can see the iridescence, almost like a Boland's python, you know, that beautiful iridescence. But this is actually what they call a motley golden child reticulated python. Absolutely wonderful. Look at that.
I don't think I've seen them that dark, to be honest, Brian.
Yeah, this is one of the darkest ones I've ever seen.
It's pretty dark. It's almost like a fully melanistic animal, but there's still partial pigmentation around the bottom of the jaw and stuff.
Yeah, but other than that, pretty much a black animal. This is the ivory berm. So this is the hypogranite. This would be the super version of hypo.
Yeah.
Which is the ivory. So it's not pure white, but it's definitely, you know, like a whitish colored, lack of pattern, lack of everything. So you get a little bit of yellow and then white on the bottom. You can see it right here too. Yep, and it's got the blue eyes. Absolutely wonderful. This guy's just a youngster here, but again, a nice animal to take out for maybe smaller kids, you know, 3-4-year-old kids that can't hold a bigger snake. And of course, we're always keeping a close eye on every action that our snakes have, just so that there's never a problem. Let's see here, we have...
Now Brian,
yeah.
You've got a lot of really cool snakes here, but you've also got some stuff that I haven't really seen in a lot of collections like this, the Dumeral's boa.
Yeah.
You know, some really obscure locality stuff.
Oh yeah, I love it. You know, so this is a Madagascan boa. There's actually 2. There's the Dumerali, and then there's the Madagascariensis, or the Malagasy. This is the Dumerali. And they look very similar, just a little less pattern on the Malagasy ones. But really cool animals. We got a couple here. We've got this guy here. He's a little bit bigger. He's about 5 years old now, so he's a full-grown adult. And then we have a yearling that's a little bit smaller for people to kind of get a little bit of an eye on too. Lovely animal. Got caiman lizards in here. These guys are from South America. And the thing that people don't understand, and you can kind of see them floating around in the back over there, is that they're very aquatic. So a lot of times people set these up in a terrarium with just a little water bowl. But in actuality, they'll spend about 90% of their time in the water, and then we give them branches and other ledges for them to go up on if they want to actually spend time on land. It's really important. We just have a couple alligators here where we work with Gatorland. You guys know Gatorland, we love them. And basically what they do is they give us a couple, about 6 little baby alligators, much like we saw hatching, myself and Peter. And then we keep them for about a year. We send them back and they give us babies again. So these guys are almost ready to go back to Gatorland to live their life at Gatorland, and we'll get some more babies that were hatching and coming through here. Of course, we already showed you this guy here. We've got, an emerald tree boa, absolutely beautiful. Ooh. This guy's named Carl. So this is just a beautiful emerald tree boa. I just love these guys to death. Wonderful snakes. Spends his entire life basically right there, not doing anything else other than just hanging out on that branch right there.
So I guess the crazy thing with these particular species is the size of the teeth.
Oh, one of the biggest non-venomous teeth besides maybe your roughies in the world. Yeah. So absolutely.
And how does he know? He's felt them.
I felt them. I felt the first time I visited you guys. I felt those teeth, and I loved every minute of it. I'm not going to lie to you. Of course, we've got the Bell's Face Lace Monitor that you guys know so well down in Australia. His name is Beetlejuice, and he's a wonderful animal. Really good. He's about to get a cage upgrade, which I'm super excited about. This is happening in the next couple days. So he's going to have a much larger cage, which will be great. And then this is another
Ooh.
that black snake that we saw before, this is the exact same snake as that, a motley golden child, jet black, but then piebald reticulated python. So it's got the black and the iridescence, but then it's got that white blotching on it. And unlike the cow reticulated python, these guys won't grow any more pigment. They'll stay this way their whole life. So just a wonderful snake. This guy is named Neo, and or a girl, I should say, is named Neo for Neapolitan. And we love her to death. She's really good, and she's actually going to go into Beetlejuice's enclosure. So Beetlejuice gets a big enclosure. He goes from here, she goes from here into Beetlejuice's enclosure. And then down here, we actually have, let's see if we can see him. Oh,